Welcome to Business Notes. I'm your host, Diane Bogino. My guest today is Craig Paxson. Craig is a coach consultant who partners with small business owners and executives to help them create and execute a plan that increases profits, reduces stress, and achieves their desired results. As a former small business CEO, Craig implemented his proprietary visionary results system, which drives strategic planning and execution throughout the organization. He is the founder of Visionary Results LLC, a consulting firm specializing in small business owner and executive coaching. Craig is the author of the Goal Discussion Guide and co-author of Unstuck, 10 Proven Strategies for Breaking Through the Barriers to Small Business Growth. He is a mentor for SCORE and the Nashville, Tennessee Entrepreneur Center and a certified executive coach. Craig holds an MBA from Belmont University. Now here's Craig to share his years of business wisdom with us. Craig, welcome to the show and thank you for being on Business Notes today.
Thank you, Diane. I'm glad to be here.
So, Craig, what is the biggest challenge that small business owners face today?
I think coming out of COVID, especially, small business owners are facing a challenge of wondering, how do we compete in this new market? For many business owners, the market has changed, right? Because of COVID. But even without COVID, a lot of small business owners, they're great at doing that one thing, making cabinets or preparing food. The market conditions change, whether it's COVID or not. They're probably great at selling. How do they, though, differentiate themselves from all the rest of the competitors so they can compete in the market, so they can be different, right? And then how do they actually make that difference happen? I think that's the biggest challenge for small business owners, to make them be able to continue to grow.
Yeah, that's a real challenge, and you're absolutely right about making yourself stand out. Because if you go on LinkedIn, everybody's on there, right? You try to make yourself stand out from that crowd. It's a challenge.
Yes.
And what is your number one tip for small business owners?
We all just want to start doing, right? We don't step back. We don't really think about what it is that we need to do. So I challenge small business owners to think of the capabilities that they need first, and then go do those capabilities, go create, acquire those capabilities. And if we think about that, what are the capabilities that we need to compete in the market and to get the results that we want? That's my definition of strategy. The capabilities required to compete in the market and achieve organizational results. If we think about those capabilities first, it's very easy then to figure out, okay, what do I need to do, right? So I've created a tool. I call it the Strategic Capabilities Matrix. And I'll describe the tool verbally, although it is on my website. And so every business, from the smallest mom and pop shop all the way up to Amazon or General Electric, they have 4 key functions. The first function is to sell the product or service that they have, right? So that includes marketing and sales. The second function is to deliver that product or service to the people who purchase it. The third one is to collect the funds that are required that come along with selling that product or service. So in some cases, that may be collection on the front end via credit card, or it may be sending an invoice after the fact. But without actually collecting the funds, we go out of business, right? And then the fourth function is to govern the organization, to hire people, file taxes, train people, etc. So every business has those 4 main functions. A lot of times we think sales, operations, finance, but it doesn't really matter who does it as much as it is about those 4 functions being created or getting accomplished, right? Mm-hmm. And then the other portion of the matrix, the horizontal portion of the matrix, there's 5 different types of capabilities. The first capability is the key processes. What are the key processes, the key activities that need to happen in order to sell, deliver, collect, and govern the organization? And different businesses are going to have different key activities, right? I give this example. One of my clients is a family-owned business. I don't think they've hired or fired anybody in 30 years. So for them, a key process is not hiring. Another one of my clients is a catering company. They hire contractors all the time to work catering events. So for them, hiring and training those contractors quickly is a key process, right? The next section, the next capability type is organizational policies. The policies that the organization is going to abide by. So an easy way to think of an organizational policy is the sales force 0 commission or 100% commission, right? That's going to completely change how the organization works, how it operates, how it's perceived in the marketplace. And those can, be changed by the stroke of a pen. The next one is organizational structure. Who reports to who? But also, how does information flow throughout the organization and how are decisions made? Those are two parts of structure that small businesses and businesses in general don't really think about. And then the next one after that is skills and abilities. This is really talking a lot to the people, but what are the skills and abilities required by the organization, by the people in the organization to sell, deliver, collect, and govern? And then finally, the last one is tools and resources. What are the tools and resources that are required? This could be websites or machinery, trucks, a copying machine, whatever it might be. But what are the tools and resources that are required, again, to do those 4 functions: sell, deliver, collect, and govern the organization? So now we have this matrix of the 4 verticals, the 4 functions, and these 5 different capability types. And the first step for any business owners to figure out what are the capabilities that are required. Now we can say, okay, what capabilities do we not have? Let's go get them. On the key processes portion, that key processes row, these are the things that we're going to do on a regular basis, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever it might be, to do those 4 functions. Those are the key processes. Are those key processes performing the way they need to perform? If so, wonderful. If not, how do we improve those key processes? So thinking about the capabilities first and then figuring out what we need to do is a much easier way to run the business than just trying to figure out what do we need to do.
And you say that matrix is on your website.
It is.
All right. So I encourage people to go look at that. That sounds really interesting. So a while ago, you mentioned strategy, and I know strategy is an ambiguous word. It has a lot of definitions. So what is strategy and why does it matter?
So again, my definition of strategy is this: the capabilities required to compete in the market and obtain organizational results. That is the definition. So strategy is not high level or long term or spending a lot of money. A lot of times we think about strategy being some long term or high level project. I say you don't do strategy. You do projects that implement strategy, and those may take a long time. They may be considered high level, but strategy is simply those capabilities that are required. That is what strategy is. So we don't do strategy. We define our strategy, and then we go do projects. We execute key processes to make sure that the strategy gets implemented. And that is my definition of strategy. So it's really important because of those 2 functions of strategy. One, how do we compete in the market, right? What makes us different and unique in the market? What's our value proposition? Who are we selling to, et cetera? And then what are the results that we want for the organization? What kind of financial results, whether that's profitability or value of the organization? What kind of results do we want pertaining to societal and employee? Do we want to be a best place to work in Nashville or Atlanta? Do we want to have some kind of charitable mission, right? So defining all the results ahead of time, so we can take those two elements. What are the results the organization wants, and then how do we compete in the market? And those two things together will define the capabilities that are required, and that is our strategy.
Right. So, how do you keep your team on the same page and hold them accountable? That's the big issue.
I don't like to use the term vision necessarily, or mission, but having a purpose behind the organization. Why does the organization exist? For whom? What problem does the organization solve? What does the world look like when that problem has been solved? Provides that sense of inspiration, that sense of where we're going, what we want to look like, what we're trying to accomplish. And that's important. The next thing is making sure that everybody on the team understands the value proposition. Who do we sell to? What do we sell? What do we deliver? Why do they buy it? Why do they buy this product or service at all? Why do they buy it from us? And then why should they trust us? What are the things that we do, the brand promises that we deliver to sell that, right? Brand promises, I think, are really key. People our age probably remember the old Domino's 30 minutes or it's free, right? That was a
Right.
brand promise.
Mhm.
So having brand promises can differentiate ourselves, but it also makes sure that the entire organization understands this is how we compete. So that's really important. Then the next thing is that capabilities matrix for the organization or for a department or an individual now provides a framework to make sure that we're working on the right stuff. What are the key processes for a department or an individual, if not the entire organization? How do we know if those key processes are working well? What kind of metrics do we have in place to make sure they're working well? And then what are the capabilities that we need? And what are the projects that we're doing in order to make sure that we have those capabilities to the level that they're needed? And I think having those three things really provides a sense of alignment, and then accountability, because it's very clear what everybody should be working on.
That's important for sure. Um, Now, Craig, I don't do numbers, but do I really need to measure anything really?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And this is where, I look at what we're going to measure is our results that we want from the organization, but also our key processes. And it's, we hear a lot about leading and lagging indicators. And what I like to think about these in a different way for a key process. What are the outcome indicators and then the activity indicators for that key process? So let's just say that we have a process in our organization that says that we are going to resolve customer complaints within 24 hours. And that's one of our differentiators. That's one of the reasons that people buy from us. So we look at that key process and say, what are the outcomes that we're trying to accomplish? Well, obviously, one of them is that we want to resolve these customer complaints within 24 hours. So we would probably want to measure something around how many did we get done in 24 hours. Probably the right measurement would be the percentage of complaints resolved in 24 hours, right? Then we would know if it's 98%, the process is doing pretty good. If it's 60%, well, we probably need to improve the process. Maybe another one on the outcome side would be, what's the customer satisfaction with the resolution, right? If we're resolving 98% of them, but the customers are not happy with any of the resolutions, then maybe there's something we need to work on, right? But then we think about, okay, so that's the outcome. What are the activities that go into resolving that customer complaint? So maybe it's something like how many customer complaints we get, or how long it takes to send something up the chain to management if it needs to be approved by management, or maybe how many customer interactions it takes, right? If it takes 10 emails or phone calls to get a resolution with the customer, maybe that might be different than if it takes one or two, right? So we want to think about the activities, and then we can measure those activities. And now we're measuring things that make sense. We're measuring the things that actually matter. We're measuring the things that we do, the activities that will generate the outcome of that key process. And it points us now, because we have this matrix, only the key processes. Remember the two companies I was describing before, the key process for the family-owned business they didn't have one of hiring. They didn't have to measure anything about hiring. The catering company that hires new contract staff every single week for events, they had to measure things around their hiring process because it was a key process, and they could find out, oh, we're doing well or we're not doing well. And the only way to really know if you're doing well is to have some kind of measurement.
Mm. Makes sense for sure. Now, your book, tell me the name again, the book that you co-author. What was the title of that book?
So yeah, it's Unstuck.
Yes. Okay. So they can get that on your website too, or is that on Amazon?
Amazon. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can get that on Amazon,
yes.
get the matrix on your website.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah,
on my website, you can go to visionaryresults.com. I always forget if it's forward or backslash, but / free stuff, all one word. And there's resources that can be downloaded there.
Oh, great. Good to know. Good to know. Craig, I feel like if somebody watches this video, they're going to feel like they've just read a business book. You've brought so many great things for a small business owner to think about, and the questions they really should be asking themselves. So I appreciate you bringing this great information to the audience today, and I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Diane. This is wonderful.
Thank you for watching Business Notes. We've been speaking with Craig Paxson, Business Value Coach Advisor and author. I'm your host, Diane Bogino, bringing you business ideas you can bank on.